Hi YouTube! It's amazing. It's been 10 years since my very first cooking video on this channel. It was a broccoli spaghetti with garlic and oil, and man oh man have times changed, and the videos have gotten so much better, and it's a lot because of you. I'm realizing now that not giving up is probably one of the most important traits in making anything happen. I'm by no means an international success, but things are growing and I'm feeling better and better about the work that I'm doing, and that's thanks to you guys watching. If nobody were watching, I don't know what I'd be doing it for, and I probably would have stopped. So a big thank you to everyone new and old. Now, as promised, I thought I'd answer some questions. Katie Lizzotti writes, would you ever do a video in Italian only? I did 2 in Italian only. I thought it'd be really interesting to do American recipes in Italian for Italians. That channel is called Frankie Cucina, which is Frankie Cooks in Italian, and I think it has 6 subscribers. So it didn't do so well, but it exists. What is your death row 3-course meal? Hopefully that won't ever have to happen, but probably be a double Shake Shack burger with fries and one of their delicious beers and maybe a concrete. Why the hell not? Who cares about cholesterol when you're going to get electrocuted anyway? Ella, how long did it take to collect the flavor packets in the drawer in Struggle Meals, and how many different places did you have to go to find them all? The truth is, if you're doing it right, you just collect them from takeout. You know, when you get the bag full of stuff, when you do Chinese takeout, or they give you duck sauce, those are more often than not made in-house and not as shelf-stable as the other stuff, but you get my drift there. So you don't go from place to place to get it, they accumulate. And I had to do a segment on CNBC last winter, and my package drawer is in California, and this is here in New York. I just went to my father's office and I said, hey, do you have packets? And he said, yeah, in the break room. They had ketchup and mayo and mustard and all these things. So that's how you do it. Jamie Hicks, how do you get away from using recipes all the time and get into experimenting more in the kitchen? It's funny, I woke up at 5:30 this morning and I wrote down food theory. Just like music theory, we need to have some sort of food theory. Now you can't just go straight into being eccentric in the kitchen. I think you have to start with some fundamentals. Just like if you're playing guitar, you need to learn a song first before you can understand theory. So learning some recipes is important first. I remember being a teenager, a young teenager, and just thinking to myself, man, it'd be really great if I could cook something wonderful right now. And my friend Zach and I went into his kitchen, and you know, that was me trying to be experimental before I had any base, and we were adding like smoked salmon and cream cheese to a pan and heating it with butter. It was really bad. It was really bad. So how do you get away from, how do you experiment in the kitchen? Cook a recipe, cook a simple one, cook it a couple times, and you'll start to say, maybe I should change this, maybe I should change that. That's sort of the beginning of dipping your toe into the deep end from the shallow, shalalalo. Diana Pinto, what is your favorite brand of coffee to make at home, and do you have any secret talents, and what talent do you wish you had? I've been making Hairbender is what I've been brewing. I think it's counterculture coffee, but I also love Ely Red. And do I have any secret talents? I am an excellent unicyclist, and what talent do I wish I had? I just wish I could be Lady Gaga in general, gotta say. Dark Zero X2, do you have a nerdy side? Comics, books, card games, video games, etc. I think that would go back to the unicycling thing. I do enjoy consuming content, but video games, man, I stopped at Super Nintendo. That's just where it's at. And I look at some people around me that spend a lot of time doing that, and for my lifestyle, for what I'm doing, being my own boss, creating content and writing recipes for you guys, something like card games, comic books, and video games, unfortunately, I just don't have the time for it. I almost treat it like drug addiction or something. I say to myself, you know, and since Apple put screen time here, and I can actually manage it better, but screens are becoming addictive. Ironically, here I am telling you this through the screen. But I say to myself, Frank, you're either creating or consuming. You can't do both. So I don't watch any shows. I mean, I'll watch one or two, but I get the formula to suck me in, to keep me watching forever. And unfortunately, I'm in the same business as them, so it's my competitive nature from when I was almost a professional cyclist, I suppose. Kai Pi 25, what is your favorite pastime? Really enjoy playing tennis with my father very early in the morning. No rules, 2 bounces, that's fine. All that, just hitting it as hard as we can. That's my favorite thing. I really like doing that. Yeah. Noor Muhammad, have you ever tried to cook Middle East food? Yes, and everyone is all over me. It becomes an issue of race almost if I do it. I mean, here I am, Italian American. I'm more than 50% Italian. I speak Italian. I've been to Italy many times, and I cook those dishes, and the Italians get mad at me. So now imagine I cook a dish from a culture that I have no tie to. People get offended. I don't mean to do it, but I love Middle Eastern food. I think it's fantastic. Catherine Thompson, would you like to open your own restaurant one day, maybe even overlooking the ocean? It certainly makes sense in like the heliosphere of Frankie stuff. I always thought it was really important to get the media thing going. It seems to be going okay now. And then work my way into books and restaurants and potentially products. But right now, the real estate market in New York City is insane, and I just can't make the math work. For example, they're opening so many food halls. A food hall approached me, and for 150 square feet, they want $18,000 a month. Now, that's a lot of money. And that means that you have to sell either a lot of pasta or a lot of pizza, and there needs to be a line down the door, and then that doesn't even include your overhead and everything. So it's prohibitively expensive right now. I'll do it when it makes financial sense, and I can make it succeed rather than flop. There's always time. That Tuba guy, when's your book coming out? I think we'll sign it this year, and hopefully, I don't know how long it takes, but I have done 7 versions of the draft. It's now 40 pages long. I think it's really going to rewrite sort of the book of Italian-American food. That'll be book number 1. Book number 2, probably be food theory. Soon. I'll keep you posted on it. Joanne Watson, where do you find all those flavor packets? They just accumulate. Open a closet, open a drawer. Where do you get all those receipts? Where do you get all those socks? Same answer. Sammy Brish, what's your best cooking tip that probably nobody knows? I just like to say add water. It's amazing how many people dehydrate the food to the point where it either burns or the texture has become rough. Adding water in cooking is a wonderful way to control heat, to deglaze a pan, and to keep things moist and wonderful. Dave the Fan, how do you make a quick ink sauce? Well, you'd need some kind of ink, and then probably another liquid to extend it. It could be water. It could be white wine. I guess that's how I'd make a quick ink sauce. Katina, any tips for making the most out of a college meal plan? I don't have a kitchen available to me, and the food is kind of bland. Oh, listen, I went to boarding school. I ate 3 meals a day for 4 years in a food hall. And so that's sort of how I started cooking this whole thing. And I got a lot of hot plates taken away from me. Tabasco became one of my favorite things in the world to have because it adds flavor. So what would you do? Maybe bring Malden salt with you. I mean, a meal plan is a meal plan is a meal plan. If they have any of those stations where they can cook something fresh for you, that's probably better because, flavor and texture expire pretty quickly when things have been sitting in chafing pans. Remember the days of the school food, and when you get out of there and food is better, it'll taste better every day. Lord Donna, have you ever tried sidas, Sardinian dessert? Non avevo mai provato sidas, but I would like to try it. Which videos and recipes from your early days would you go back and revisit? I'm often redoing recipes because I've learned more or I've discovered new things or I think that I can explain it better. I see it no different than, a musician revisiting an old song in a concert or something like that. So if it's a solid recipe, I'd go back and do it. And I have. Paris Reedy. If you could only have one pasta variety for the rest of your life, what it would be? Well, I mean, that's a tough one. Because the whole thing with pasta is they're all the same ingredients. So the shapes are what make the flavor taste. The shapes are what make the texture different and the fun of it. But I'd probably go with spaghetti. I really enjoy twirling, and I enjoy the multiple al dente bites through the twirl. Whereas like penne, you only get the top and the bottom. Boom. Spaghetti can be more like 10, so that's great. Regina, dish that reminds you of home. There are so many. There isn't just one, because my family always cooked. Last night I had sautéed spinach on a piece of toast with black pepper, and it reminded me of my grandfather. So that's one of them. Jack Warren, you've inspired me to try all types of new things on cooking methods, and you've also brought back the seat of your pants. I don't know what that means. Excitement. The excitement that I miss from cooking. Okay. History and food, so much fun, confidence, can get anyone to cook the most daunting of dishes. Thank you for what you do. What is your guilty pleasure when it comes to late night snacking? I grew up in a family where dental hygiene is taken very seriously, so I never had sugar, I never had ice cream, I never had soda, and I just don't crave those things, Jack. So in college, a friend of mine gave me a meat slicer from someone that she was working for who unfortunately died. So I had this Italian meat slicer in my apartment, which was the original set of Frankie Cooks, where all the early videos are from. And I just remember, also to save money when I was out, I would like run back from being out at night. It was like 3 a.m. I would run back to my apartment. I figured, let me exercise and I'll save money on a cab and I won't get mugged, because I did get mugged 4 times in my lifetime. So I thought, running, no one will mug me, and I'll save money on a cab. And then I would get home and slice prosciutto for myself, and then take the whole machine apart and clean the giant blade, which was ironic, because that's probably when I'd cut myself. So, prosciutto. Julia Stocco, which tips would you give to someone who's new to cooking, and how many idioms do you speak? I don't know how many idioms I speak because I'm dyslexic, but I do like to make a lot of analogies. Got to explain something in a new and different way. And what new tips would I give to someone who's cooking? Start simple. Like the garlic and oil spaghetti is a really, really easy thing to do well, and it's something that's pretty hard to make great, and yet there are only 3 ingredients. So start simple, keep doing it. Just keep doing it. It's practice. It's the same as literally anything. I mean, you had to practice to learn how to walk, and one day you got it. But imagine if you gave up on it early on. You'd be wheeling around. How old are you? And would you rather know the date of your death or the cause? I came here from Struggle Meals. It took me forever to find you on YouTube. Love unique cooking methods. Thank you, AB. I'm 32 years old. I don't want to know the date of my death or the cause. But someone once told me that if you could write your own obituary, that would really help with what you do day to day. It's a little bit morbid, but what do you want that thing to say? A.B. did X, Y, and Z with her life, and yada, yada, yada. If you know what you want them to say once you've passed, maybe it's a little bit easier to execute it. Myra Gonzalez, in your opinion, what is the most versatile vegetable? I really don't like absolutes. People are like, what's the best dish? What's the best restaurant? It doesn't exist. There's only variety, and all things that are good are good. I do really like onions, though. They work pretty well in everything. What is your favorite Japanese food? Oh, I'm a big yakitori fan. There's a Michelin-starred yakitori restaurant here in New York. I really, really like that. The hearts, the chicken oysters, the neck, all of it. Each piece cooked perfectly the way that piece wants to cook based on its fat to protein ratio, and salted just gorgeously on that bunchen wood that gets to 1,000 degrees, so you get the aroma of smoke. Really, really wonderful. I used to be a big fan of omakase sushi. I think it's gotten really stupid expensive lately, and there's just a lot of weird stuff happening in the fish business, so I've actually reduced my sushi intake pretty significantly. Stephen Warren, favorite cooking personalities growing up? The funny thing is I didn't watch it. I didn't even find out who Alton Brown was until about a year into me making my own videos, and someone said, "You're kind of like Alton Brown." And I watched it, and I was like, shit, he did everything first. But I think I like his show a lot because it's different. I try to approach it with, if I just read you recipes, anybody can do what I'm doing. So I try to give you why, how, and because. Saute the garlic until you see some golden brown, because that makes you have flavor that you wouldn't have if you didn't cook it that much. And then, things like that. So I also discovered Batali a little bit later. Actually, you know what? It's not true. In 5th grade, I bought Jamie Oliver's Naked Chef. It wasn't on TV, though. It was just a book. And I thought, wow, this is so cool. I would like to learn how to cook. Like I said, my mom cooked almost all the meals I had growing up, but I also wanted to do it. Burgers were my first passion. Favorite TV show? Don't have one. Yesenia. Yesenia, that's a tough name. Yesenia. How do you not cook the same thing every day? I often do. What inspires you? Things that other people are cooking, restaurants that I go out to. But lately, I really think I need to travel a lot more because I am in a little bit of a rut right now. And but sometimes the rut is good because it helps me go back to the old dishes and make them even better. How often do you eat frozen microwave meals, if ever? I never eat them. I don't have a microwave. A family member of mine has a pacemaker, so we can't use a microwave around her. And that's it. Don't make frozen food. I just don't do it. It takes 20 minutes to heat one of those things up. I could have a fresh pasta. I always have boxed pasta. So boxed pasta is my fresh frozen food. Francisco, do you believe it's important to study cooking to be a good cook? Yeah, you have to study it in some form, but I don't think that culinary school is the answer. I mean, we live in the future. All of mankind's knowledge is around you. It's on the internet. It's in books. I mean, here's the Noma Guide to Fermentation right here. I can get 92% of what Rene Redzepi and his team have discovered just by reading the book. I don't need to go there and stage under him and everything. I can get a really, really wonderful foundation just by reading. So, and I'm also not so much of a fan of the culinary schools right now, which I did a little bit of and dropped out because the price, at least in New York, it's like double or triple what you're going to make working on the line. And having worked on the line and had externs come to work under me, man, they are so slow. There's just no sense of urgency. And obviously that comes with time. But I think if you're really passionate about being a good cook, you should just walk into a restaurant and say, I only need to be told things once. I really want to do this. I'll do whatever you need. And they'll give you a job. Hold on, my laundry's done. And you will get paid while you learn how to do it. And not only that, but you'll have a fundamental understanding of certain stuff, and then you can go take some classes if you want. But I think a full French culinary thing is a huge waste of time. But if you really want to learn a lot, and there are online culinary schools now. You can go to rouxbe.com, ROUXBE.com. I actually did the full culinary course there when it started in like 2010, and they'll teach you all about the roux and the veloutés and dry and moist heating methods and give you that theory that you're looking for. Have you read Kitchen Confidential? Of course. Are you a fan of Anthony Bourdain? Yeah. I mean, he just completely redefined the genre. And it really goes to show that if you're just yourself and you just keep doing it, something wonderful will happen from it. I have people around me that are saying, you got to do it this way, you got to do it this way. And I think that's what makes sort of this homogenous, bland sameness where everybody's a clone. Sometimes it's compromise. Anthony's show was not a compromise. And it wasn't even a food show, man. It was just a show about life and the human condition. And I really enjoyed it. I'll miss it. And I'll miss him a lot. And I never got to meet him, so it's a bummer. What do you do when you run out of ideas for new recipes or flavors? Man, you got to go out and eat. this is one of the reasons why I love living in New York so much. There are literally hundreds of languages spoken between the 5 boroughs, and almost every type of cuisine is represented at a decently high level here. So that's how I get inspired. I'll just go to Flushing, find a dumpling spot, or go underground and find some strange Indian curry house, and it's like exploring a whole new world. It's great. Those are all the questions that I got. It took me about a month to do this. Once again, thank you for supporting me on this channel. I know I don't make a ton of content and mostly just repost the struggle meal stuff, but I am trying to bring some more to you. I'm hoping to do another show for local TV here in New York, which I'll be able to break up and throw videos on here. That should be great. And in the meantime, I'm just gonna trying to figure out a way to give you some new stuff and new information without it taking a full day of editing, because my time priority is with Tastemade right now, who's, by the way, a wonderful partner and doing really, really great things. In 2009, when I started this, YouTube was the only platform that enabled video uploads, and that was it. There's nothing else. But now there are so many types of social media. Algorithms are such an important thing. Numbers are such an important thing that I just think I have to have a partner like Tastemade, with a group of really, really smart people that are figuring out what we should make next, what will get viewed. And so that's where we're at. I'm here. Thank you for supporting me. Have a great 2019, guys.